Hi, everyone. This is the first time I've been on camera for a while. But there's a very specific reason for it if you can't already see. Look who it is. Look who it is. It's Cammy. This is Cammy, everyone. If you don't know who Cammy is, this is your first time seeing her. I got a cat, and she's in a bit of a hyper mood. Let me just turn off my camera. I'll try and bring her on as and when I can. Like, I don't want to stay on camera since, as you can tell, I look like an absolute mess. I've had a really hectic day, and I've just kind of slapped on some makeup just as kind of what do you call it? Courtesy, a bit of a courtesy.
Me too. I was gonna say triage, but no.
So that was Cammy. I'm going to try and bring her on and off camera as often as I can, but just to kind of give a little bit of an explanation about her for people who don't know, she's a Maine Coon. Now, a Maine Coon is like the biggest kind of house cat you can get. They're massive, very, very fluffy, but they're very dog-like as well. They're the most dog-like cats that you can find. They she has a ball of tinfoil that she loves to carry around, and she carries it like a dog. Let's see if she will let me pick her up again. I mean, like, it isn't like, oh, she doesn't like being picked up or anything like that. It's just that she's being quite hyperactive. There she is again.
Oh,
there she is. Yeah.
I love that. I believe a friend of mine who adores the pictures of Cammy that I sent her does describe, peak fluff, I think, is the description. Other than where is this now? It is so stunny. It is such fluff. Oh my god, yes, it is incredible. Yes, all in capital letters. The entirety of the thing.
Well,
That's very enthusiastic. That's a very enthusiastic perception of the cat.
She is unbelievably fluffy. She's very warm. She's very, very friendly as well.
That's nice.
Yeah, like, she's incredibly affectionate. She very rarely leaves my side. Like, right now, she's just perched on my shoulder like a parrot.
Yeah, like a pirate, of Mancoon.
Yep, and she's just trying to make herself comfy.
That's really cute.
Oh, it's adorable.
She's leaving. There she goes.
Oh no, she's still here. She's on the computer desk. There she is.
Hey, hello. Cammy can be here she comes to interfere.
Gorilla, yes.
This is now a cat stream, guys. This is now a cat stream.
This is the
Cammy of approval.
Gorilla pod and cat. Yeah.
She's about to stand on the keyboard. So she is doing that all day whilst I was working, and she kept on putting in passwords. And whilst I was like trying to write reports and stuff, she was adding her own input.
She's trying to help, okay? She's doing her best.
Oh, she was. I don't deny that she was doing a good job, and now she's on the keyboard.
Are you going to? Are you going to launch a competitor to Grammarly called Cataly that just has Cammy-based inputs on texts?
I need to find ways of monetizing Cammy. I need to get the Cammy merch out there. I need to get the Cammy brand because she is deserving of a brand. Like, she is a absolutely lovely kitty. Right, let me just
very, very
cam again. Yeah, I'm very, very very self-conscious of the way I look at the moment because my hair is a state. My hair
Chat is saying that's a weird looking seal, but okay.
Weird seal, but okay. Ooh. Yeah, we're laughing.
Oh my!
Oh dear!
What the excuse me for using profanities. What on earth, shall we say, just to keep things family friendly, is that?
I'm the fucking First Minister of Scotland and also the 9th Horcrux. Fuck you.
I see.
Count Sturgula. That's
the 9th Horcrux herself.
Who drew that? Good lord.
I don't know. Someone tweeted this at me last night and like I ugly laughed for like 15 minutes.
So good.
It's the fact that somebody started and they started drawing the eyes, and they did an immense amount of detail in the eyes, and then they were like crayon.
It's so good. It's so perfect.
It's amazing.
I think we found what your next. Like you know, Sue is constantly getting all these kind of really professional style, fan art things to put on t-shirts and so on. I think you've just found your counter brand there, mate.
We need a count Sturgula.
Yes, I'm very much the yin to Sue's yang. Yes.
Find out who drew that so you can license it.
Yes.
Well, actually, so me and Sargon were talking about taking out like joke billboards just for a laugh, because it turns out they're pretty cheap right now, or like ads in newspapers where it doesn't even need to be an ad, it could just be a meme. And Sargon was like, take that picture and rent out a full page ad in the Scotsman and see if they do it. And fuck.
You got to.
Oh, fuck me, I'm tempted. I'm so tempted.
I know that there's a kid coming and you got to be, financially responsible and all that. But this is like a national duty. Yeah.
Count Sturgula, sponsored by the Scottish Herald.
There can't be any evidence if I censor the evidence.
Jesus Christ.
It's perfect, though.
I fucking love it. Right, so
that's
anyway.
Also a weird looking seal. That's all I'll say.
Here's some seals.
Well, we've already done Cammy. We already had enough Cammy.
Well, what do you mean that you've had enough Cammy?
That's enough Cammy. We have to ration it out to the people, otherwise they get,
you've got to, you've got to like saturate the market. That people can't go anywhere without seeing the main coon. But where has she gone? Like she's.
I mean, when you eventually shorten this and you start referring to your cat as a coon, I definitely think the coon cat. Then,
well, they are known as coon cats. Like that's the way. That's another way of saying it. Nobody calls them just like yeah. I can't just say it by itself because I'll get the channel demonetized.
Be careful. Is like when you messaged me the picture of Tigger in like the uniform and the caption's just the sheriff is a Tigger.
God.
Oh dear.
Anyway, let's move on to the main event. I don't even think they've actually announced that this is a show called Seal of Approval, where the focus is mostly on seals. But here's the seals of news. We have 4 massive news stories. So we have Womuxen, we have Diaper, which is just like the most polite way of putting it.
What? Okay.
Oh, that one. That one is a disturbing one.
That one's a whole thing.
That one is a whole thing.
I think I sent you some memes about it though.
It is.
Yeah, like an assigned nonce.
And we have the SMP. So Sturgula.
Since
what seal would you like to pick?
You already know my answer, don't you? Like
I prefer.
Fuck you.
It's like considering you already count Sturgula.
I still can't get over the fact that Sturgula sounds like some kind of bowel cancer.
It does. It sounds like a medical affliction.
Sounds like some overlord. It sounds like some overlord from Battlestar Galactica.
You think COVID is bad? I've come down with a really nasty case of Sturgula over the weekend, and I just am not recovering.
Yes, the symptoms include forgetting meetings that you had, and
getting
dates mixed up.
To pathologically lie, yes.
So Dank, for the non-Scottish viewers who might be a little bit confused as to what's actually going on with like this glorious meltdown of the SNP, like what's happening? What's going on?
Okay, right. So I will give like the most. This is a deep fucking rabbit hole, so I will try and give the most like dumbed down, like shorthand version that I can. Basically, the leader of the SNP for a long time was a man named Alex Salmond. His underling was Nicola Sturgeon, and he was basically grooming her to be the next leader of the SNP. The Scottish referendum happened. The referendum failed. Alex Salmond resigned. Nicola Sturgeon took over, and that was that. Things were fine. Alex Salmond was still a member, but he had no like active role in the party. Years go by, and of Sturgeon just being an absolute fanny. She's just terrible. She's just awful. She's absolutely crap.
And that's just her hair. I mean, not to mention her politics.
Yes, true. That as well.
It's I will never get over the fact that she absolutely looks like the spitting image of wee Jimmy Cranky. I'm impressed that I'm actually kind of disappointed that not enough people run with that.
Oh no, it does all the time. Like up here, everyone calls her wee Cranky and
Right.
all that, or wee nippy.
He really does look like an 8-year-old boy in the 70s who let his mum cut his hair.
I just like the fact that like, over time, I would hope that the bob that she's effectively got going on there just will expand with the more ego that she gets, so that it's just at some point she's just gonna have like this enormous balloon, which is just an enormous muff of hair
until she looks like that woman from Mars Attacks.
Yes, yes. You made the reference before I was able to. Yeah, exactly.
The worst thing is you probably pay someone like 200 quid to look like that. They've probably got some sort of staff style. Anyway, sorry, go on.
No. She hasn't paid that. You've paid that. Like obviously,
yes, obviously. But like, what ended up happening was, she was just a terrible leader. She's absolutely fucking shite. But she's done a lot of stuff like consolidating all of her power and like getting rid of people that are against her. She's like sacked MPs that like go against the party grain and like all this type of thing. Essentially, Hitler post Weimar. Like she's doing a lot of that shit.
Mackie Sturgeon, yeah.
Yes. But then what ended up happening was Alex Salmond felt that she was not doing enough for Scottish independence and she was focusing on just nonsense. So Alex, there was
nonsense like local issues.
Yes. Like, my wheelie bins only get collected once every 3 weeks. But basically, like he was like, yeah, you're not doing enough, and there was rumors that Alex Salmond was going to make a return to the party. Now, for all of the lower tiers of the party, they all love Salmond, they really like him, but the upper, the elites within the party, like Nicola Sturgeon, has been very careful to make sure that they're all Team Sturgeon. Do you know what I mean? Like some Stalin people have been photoshopped out pictures, shit like that. So basically, she thought, oh shit, the elites, their vote counts just as much as everybody else. So like, if Salmond comes back in, he could easily take over the party. No, this is alleged at this point, by the way. Yeah. Please don't sue me.
Allegedly, yeah.
And
I mean, who would sue you? Nobody even knows who you are.
Yes. No speak English.
In fact, there will be an article in the Telegraph from tomorrow. An anonymous source from within the SNP went on a podcast last night to explain the inner machinations of the SNP. Sorry,
I'll be the first person in history during a parliamentary hearing to plug my YouTube channel
via a clip of Alex Jones. Yeah.
Yes, but basically what happened now, this is the alleged part now. They knew that if Salmond came back, Sturgeon was in trouble and her little cabal were all in trouble, right? Because Salmond would have like kicked everybody fucking out and returned the SNP to what it once was. So allegedly they all had a meeting in a room and basically says, yeah, we're going to go after Salmond. We've heard rumors of him touching a knee and, you know, rubbing his hand along a thigh and like shit like that. So they went, go and get all of the women that we heard reports of that of. And all the women were brought in, and they weren't like supported or anything like that. They were all sort of forced. Like, yeah, go to the police with all of this. Yeah, fuck Salmond, we're going to ruin Salmond. They were saying things like, it's time to move on Salmond.
Yeah.
Right. And the police were kind of like, well, we need more evidence. And the SNP said some shit like, well, what evidence do you need? As if, like shit like that. And then the police were like, this isn't enough to go on. But then allegedly, the SNP pressured the police to go ahead with the charges anyway. And they basically hoped that, you know, simply getting charged with the crime, you know, it's easier to get a conviction in the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Right. So simply getting charged with the crime itself would have ruined Salmon. But what ended up happening was he went to court, all of it got found not proven, not guilty, out the door. But then because there was pressure for the Scottish government and all this type of stuff, an inquiry found out that the government acted unlawfully. The case was bullshit and everything. There was conflict of interest. There was bias, blah, blah, blah. Salmond get handed £500,000 in compensation. Now Salmond has basically came out and said, bitch, I got receipts. Right? and Salmond basically has apparently screenshots of WhatsApp messages and emails and meetings, and people within the SNP have came forward going, this is what I heard, this is what I've seen, like witnesses to all this stuff of, yes, this was complete conspiration to destroy Alex Salmond because Nicola Sturgeon wants to keep her bum in the big chair, right? But then the Scottish government came out and says, Alex Salmond's evidence is to be censored from the parliamentary hearing, from the trial, from the inquiry, which means it cannot be submitted at all. It's completely admissible and it's not allowed to be considered. And not only is it censored from the trial, it's also censored from the public. And then on the very same day that they went, this is censored from the public, all the SNP MPs were tweeting out, there's not a shred of evidence. There's not a shred of evidence of any of Alex's claims. And it's like, because you ordered the courts to censor the evidence. But now it's a case of Nicola Sturgeon's getting bent over and butt fucked in Parliament. Everybody's out to fucking get her, and basically, I strongly believe there's meant to be up to 8 counts of her breaking the ministerial code. If she gets found guilty of even one, she has to resign. That's it. She's gone.
Wow.
And I hope it happens.
But who will come? Will Salmond come back at that point, or
I don't know. I think it'd be hilarious, right? Where the SNP's been absolutely annihilated and gutted for the inside, and he walks in like the Joker to Two-Face, like, "Hi,
I'm back."
What I find really interesting about it, though, is because the SNP is so dominant in Scotland, and as far as I'm aware, they're the only real pro-independence party. Like the other big.
They're
parties.
not pro-independence. They're not pro-independence.
Well,
we call them English secessionists. They're not nationalists. They're not pro-independence. They're just English secessionists
because they want to join the EU.
Yes.
Which, if that being the case, then if you're a Scottish nationalist who wants independence from the UK, where the hell do you go?
The Scottish Libertarian Party. Like we are pro-independence, but it's not a case of we're going to fight for it or anything. It's a case of if you want to have a referendum, you can have a referendum, and whatever the answer is, that's the answer.
I don't know. It sounds incredibly cringe to me.
I mean, it sounds a bit cringe.
I wish you could see my face right now in a kind of like baiting, smug look.
Yeah, no. Freedom sounds cringe, bro. I want daddy government to tell me what to do.
Please, Mummy Sturgeon, please.
I did see.
I'm curious if she'll survive this, though. I am curious if she can actually, because she has like the SNP. Yes, they are relatively popular, but like they've done that through a huge amount of subterfuge. There's a huge amount of stuff, and they bent the education system, bent a lot of like the public discourse, especially. They're a great example of what happens if you let they're socialists, but they're also nationalists. So
it's national socialists.
They're essentially NatSoc. That's what it boiled down to.
The reason that people are turning away from independence at the moment, right, is the reason they don't want it, and this is the thing that's hilarious, is it's literally because the SNP are in charge. Like, picture like you're in a room with a man that's completely covered in blood, and he's called Stephen the Baby Killer. And he's like, but there's like a room next door full of like heavy duty big guys that can protect you from him. And he's like, and Steve's all like, we should vote to like lock the door so it's just you and me in here.
Man, that's a pretty good analogy.
So that's why everyone's like, I mean, I would like this room to myself, but then I'll be stuck in here with you. So no,
I can guarantee 50% satisfaction.
Even the baby killer.
There was one take from the SNP that I found particularly fascinating today, and I don't if it wasn't for the fact that the SNP pretty much hold all power in Scotland, I don't see how anyone could get away with this. Your man Humza Yousaf, Scotland's Justice Secretary. Jackie Bale rattled. The House of Cards conspiracy she is trying to stack up is falling to pieces. First Minister direct in her responses. She had nothing to gain from these allegations becoming public. Jackie using a lot, I have been told, without evidence. Desperate intuition.
You censored the evidence. That's why. Like, oh Jesus. Humza is a fraud, by the way. Like, there was a tweet that he posted last night that I was absolutely pissing myself at. Like, basically, lawyers in the Law Society and Law Association and everybody were coming out and saying, yeah, this was nonsense. Like, that the trial should never have gone ahead against Sam. And like we said, like from the get-go, that this shouldn't have happened. This should have not went down, right? Humza Yousaf went, yeah, well, no one's talking about this. And he posted an email, like, from his friend. So one guy that's like in a lower tier of the Law Association saying, well, maybe we've got a chance to win the trial. Maybe. And like he posted that, and everyone's like, Humza, what does that have to do with anything? And everyone just laughed at him. And man, this is the Justice Secretary not understanding law.
Everyone who's laughing at me, white.
I don't understand how someone who can be a justice, is like the Justice Minister, can openly comment on basically like a live court trial without being seen as it being like at best wholly inappropriate and at worst.
I think he sees himself. He sees himself as the Scottish Ruth Bader Ginsburg, obviously, who could just comment on whatever he wants.
He's going to sit there being Febreze for 5 years and then just die.
Yeah, his like Humza Yousaf is thick as shit, and I genuinely believe that he only got that job to tick a box. It's just he's awful at his fucking job. He is terrible at it.
What happens when your ministers are diversity hires? Yeah, that's what it is.
You are describing politicians here. Already of them really elected on a competency basis. I don't think so.
Well, possibly not. I mean, I was never elected, and on the day that my campaign was announced, I posted my balls on Twitter. So I have no idea. I have no idea why I lost.
There were more holes in your manifesto than you've got through your ears, mate. That's what it is.
Well, see how the free speech part, like that's the part that me and Sargon wrote. The rest of it, that's got nothing to do with us.
The thing I always remember,
we're going to have Muslim-only prisons.
I also wanted to just bring up this amazing take from Owen Jones. What strikes me as deeply unpleasant about the Nicola Sturgeon, Alex Salmond situation, the possible consequence of a powerful man who Sturgeon says acted deeply inappropriately towards women could be the destruction of a woman's political career.
Yeah, but if
there is anything else going on.
But if that woman happens to be a lying, awful cow, does it really matter?
Yeah, they literally tried to charge Alex Salmond with sexual assault and rape. Like that's he's going, yeah, but Sturgeon said it was deeply inappropriate. Well, like sexual assault and rape is a much higher bar than that. No judges went like he held her down and like forced himself inside her while punching her in the face. My, that's deeply inappropriate.
I am appalled.
Naughty.
I am appalled by the conduct of the First Minister.
Good God, man.
Good goodness me.
I'm appalled by the
Lord,
conduct
man.
of the rapist.
So shocking.
How shocking.
That's like the
I'm
posh version of
almost-
bruh.
And I am almost
Bruh.
annoyed.
You're quite the scallywag you are.
Oh,
I am-
naughty. Naughty,
I am-
Mr. Rapist. Very
I
naughty.
am deeply dismayed by certain recent public violations. Yes.
Yeah, it's just the SNP's like been full clown world for a long time.
Mm.
Didn't they like kill a bunch of babies because of a hospital project that went completely wrong because of their incompetence?
Yeah,
Like there was a hospital that had
it turned out
contaminated drinking
powdered-
water.
It was yes, there was basically the water tanks were in the roof of the hospital, and what basically that's technology that went out of date 50 years ago, right? You did because we've got water pressure now. Water tanks used to be at the top of buildings, you know, to increase water pressure, blah blah blah. But that's not something that's required anymore. Birds were getting into the water tank housing and shitting into the water, and basically poisoned a bunch of people.
Oh shit!
And then also the bird shit was also getting into the ventilation system as well. Apparently, it was drying out, and essentially powdered bird shit was getting spread around the hospital.
Oh my god!
Man, like people died because of it and everything. And yeah, it was fucking, it's mental.
Well, the SNP covered it up because it was embarrassing to them because they'd spent hundreds of millions on these 2 new hospitals, one of which took years past its supposed date to open, and then like a bunch of children died because the hospitals weren't like fit for purpose. It's like the Holyrood building. It's like the fucking Parliament there. It's a joke. They're gonna pull it down, and it cost like what $2 billion to make the thing.
Oh fucking hell, man! It's just that they're just idiots. They are just complete fucking idiots. And I've not. The only reason is everyone's got the rose tinted glasses on and ignores the fields and fields of bad things about the SNP, and they always go, yeah, but independence. Oh, man, it's like, at what fucking cost? Like, I don't want to be led into battle by a retard. Right? Follow me. Like, we're all going to die. Like,
I think if Nicola Sturgeon does survive this, though, that it's a real sign that there is no accountability and it's already pretty much fucking lost. Because these are very clear,
there's no
not even ministerial code violations, but like legal violations. What they did was illegal.
Yeah. And if there's 8 counts against her, then the actual chances of like none of them sticking, when you take into account what we already know, like, are they like just so I can like have a bit more understanding? So the evidence that they've censored, which, you know, I still can't believe that is a thing that a Western government in a free democratic society is actually doing.
Someone said I had a
important point to make is the evidence was actually released online for 16 hours before the court order for censorship went through. And when something's on the internet, all it takes is 16 seconds. That's it. It's there forever. Right?
Yeah.
So basically, people got to do the really, really fun thing of having the original uncensored evidence and then comparing it to the new and improved redacted version. And basically, the only difference between them is in the redacted version, every single mention of Nicola Sturgeon was removed. Right? So that means that the reason they censored the evidence was just to protect Sturgeon. And the reason for it is the SNP are shitting themselves because they will lose their position in the big chair. That's the thing. This is all about power. This is all about power, and they're desperate to keep it. That's why I do not want them in fucking charge.
Do you think that any of this is going to impact them in the forthcoming elections, though?
That's why they were trying to bury it. They were basically like, I don't know how the fuck they thought that they could fight this off till May. Like, I know that was their plan. They were like, right, bury all of this until May, like, so that we can do well in the elections. But I've got a feeling that they're going to get pumped now.
Well, hopefully, but they have managed to keep everyone indoors for like a year, so
yeah.
I'm not sure about that one. I certain things I thought weren't possible have been made possible, so I don't know. I don't want to be academic agent here and be Captain Blackpill, but maybe they just thought they could do because they've managed to bury everything fucking else that would completely destroy most of the political parties. You know, like mismanaged oil schemes and dead babies. it's not the greatest resume for a political party.
So, does anyone have anything else that they want to add on the SNP before we move on to the next seal?
The tree needs watering.
Just
I see you're another member of the Arboreal Hydration Society.
Yes, absolutely.
You're one of our badges.
just that what strikes me as deeply unpleasant is that Owen Jones still has a career.
Yes.
Do you know Owen Jones has a very special and proud title? He is the only person on earth that I've actually apologized to for a joke.
Why?
What?
Why?
In person?
Why?
No. I apologized publicly on Twitter, and there's a very good reason for it, right? He blocked me ages ago. Just because I can't remember. I think I just posted a picture of like a guy hugging another man's arse on his like tweet or something. I can't remember what it was that I did, right? But I think it was that, and he blocked me. But basically, he unblocked me to like fucking screech, because this was when I think this was around about the time that you were posting. Was it you? You were posting that excerpt from his book where he basically admitted to being a cuck.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. Was it you? I think it might have been you. Yeah, and I basically I retweeted it and I was laughing about it, and he unblocked me to go like, no, that's not the case. Actually, and all this shit, and then we had a little bit of a back and forth on Twitter, and I went, Owen, why don't you come on stream for a debate? I was like, I'll even let you bring your dad, right? And that was you know how whenever you're going to fight someone, you're like, yeah, go get your dad, pal, like that type of thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the way that I meant it. Right, that is the way that I meant it, but I didn't know that just the day before he had spread his father's ashes.
Oh,
right, yes, and everyone was like, "Dankula, what the fuck, man?" And I'm like, "What? Like, I genuinely didn't know," and that's why when people explained that to me, I went, "Oh, okay," and then I did come out and go, "Owen, I didn't know. I'm sorry, my bad. I take it back."
What did he say in response?
He blocked me because he's a fucking pussy.
But it's hard.
Imagine if he had collected the ashes again so that he could come on stream with you, though.
How much of an absolute meme would that been? Our friendship died just like he's died.
Shouldn't laugh.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to say, just like, I can't believe he put in his book, though, that he was turned gay because he watched other men have sex with his girlfriend.
I did a dramatic reading of it on Tism.
Oh my god!
So is that actually in his book, or is was that made up?
Yes.
No,
he watched an olive-skinned man. Basically, he just came home one day and just found a man like railing his girlfriend, and the two of them turned around like going, "Oh, we're sorry, we're so sorry." And Owen went, "No, keep going." Like that, and just sat there and watched them.
So I thought that was fake. I genuinely thought that was fake.
That is
in his book. It's in his book, yes.
When I found that was real, I laughed for a good 10 minutes. Like I had to get my inhaler.
I thought it was fake at first as well. Like when I seen that, I went, no one wrote that about themselves and then sold it to the public. I'm like that.
When I decided that day to apply for The Guardian, the day that I was cucked by my girlfriend and I fondled another man's balls.
I mean, that is why I call him Owned Jones, because he's just continually owned.
But he was part of the lawsuit against that Guardian Generator website.
Do you think
that.
Do you think we could tell him straight if we got his? I assume he's got a partner at the moment. If we got him, his current partner, to cuck him with a woman. So it's
I'll make him straight. I'll do things to him that will make him never look at another man again.
I mean, to be fair, that's not difficult for a man in your position.
What's that supposed to be?
I know the things that you've done, or some of them at least.
What?
I don't want to get Rose's entire channel yeeted off, but let me just say, I mean,
you say what you know. Once you pop, you just can't stop.
Is this? Are you making a big penis meme?
No. Why would I do that? You've got a tiny penis.
Oh, nice, thanks.
Like a single Rice Krispie.
When you get away from the internet and this whole persona that you've got going on, and you're just like, Mark, I don't know what to do. Everyone keeps telling me I have big penis, but I mean, look, and that was that. And I've never been straighter in my entire life after that. After seeing, well, what can only be described as the cocktail sausage.
I can actually remember that night that you were getting upset with me when we were in the casino and I just kept sending you my balls.
I don't
remember that actually.
We're sitting there trying to get drinks. This casino is the only place open, and all I'm getting is Snapchat after Snapchat from across the way of a man literally pulling his pants back, snapping, put back. Snapping, put back. Snapping, put back. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
I was just sitting across the table from you, and he's like, "Fuck off!"
The Owen Jones things, though, reminded me of like Bebop's book where he talks about like missing family funerals and shit to play Mario Bros.
What?
He talks about like missing like important family events to play Super Mario Brothers 3. And he goes off on massive tangent about how he hates his family and his parents.
I mean, it's a good game, but it's not that good.
Yes, I'll miss my cousin's wedding just so I can play Super Mario. Obviously, you know.
So let's just read out some super chats real quick.
Are you sure?
DRT is king with the $2. Dank, do it for the meme. I think that's about the billboard.
Yeah.
I think you've got to do it.
I'll see how much it costs.
Reed Lavity with $5. Sorry, daughter, your college money went towards a billboard. And EC90 with the £2. Sorry, Owen turned gay. Cook survey. Damn it. Cook version therapy.
Who knew the answer was sitting before us the entire time?
So let's move on to another seal. Mark, do you want to pick either Womerson or diaper fur?
Well, as we're on a completely degenerate slant, what on earth is diaper fur?
Okay.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh no. Right.
Right.
Okay. So have you ever heard of a webcomic called Assigned Mail?
I have not, but it sounds like something I would completely be into.
You've probably seen some of it before. Let me
share one of the comics. It's possible my mom mentioned my big clitoris. Your what? Why would she do that? I have a clitoris that's really big, so big it's considered a penis, but it doesn't matter. Is it big enough so you can pee while standing? Yeah. You're so lucky. It must be so useful when you go camping. This is a real comic.
I thought this was an edited bit.
I've never... I've never... just pissing through the clitoris, of course. It makes perfect sense.
This is how the conversation should have went. Otherwise, it's possible that my mum mentioned my big clitoris. I don't want to be your friend anymore. You're fucking weird.
I'm leaving. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm getting my coat.
I came over here to play Magic the Gathering.
I'm sorry, Stacey. I'm 6.
It's just a mom. Turns away in horror. What's like the fuck's this person? No, Assigned Mail is quite famous for. Well, okay, it's been hyped a lot for dealing with like trans issues when it comes to children, but that she just is really creepy about making children say like sexual and political things to an extreme degree.
Yeah,
it's almost as bad. Like this sort of thing. I'm not surprised this exists. It just reminds me. It's like a pre what's that show on Netflix that's completely degenerate and about
Big Mouth.
Cuties.
Big Mouth,
Big
yeah.
Mouth.
All right.
Yeah, where it's just like, yeah, we'll have prepubescent masturbation on a cartoon series. Sure, that's not degenerate at all. So I'm not surprised that this exists. But why is this causing controversy in,
right? So
in the current year?
Right. So as Scrump said, Assigned Mail is a frankly awful web comic. It's about the adventures of a 10-year-old girl called Steffi who just so happens to be trans, and it just so happens that every single comic strip is, it's just full on woke. Like the cast is like nothing but diversity hire after diversity hire. The main character's mum is a lesbian whose girlfriend is like a hugely devout Muslim and like wears like full on burqa.
I don't know much about the Quran, but I don't think that's allowed.
I think we have discovered what truly constitutes the alt-right pipeline.
I'm going to say, is there like a comic somewhere where her uncle Abdul like honor kills them all? Because I don't. That seems to be where that would go.
So the author of this comic, which is regularly talks about adult issues with little children, is done by an artist called Sophie LaBelle.
Uh-huh. It's not exactly South Park, is it? But yeah,
it's not. No, like it's like the humor in it is just like, I don't know. It's more funny just to see edits of it than the actual comic itself. It is crap, but Sophie LaBelle is she's an artist. She works a lot with children. She is a quote unquote pillar of the trans community, if you will. And what became quite interesting over the last week is that Kiwi Farms found out that she is into, not only is she a furry, but she is also into, like, basically she's a diaper woman.
She's a crinkler, is she?
She's not just a diaper fur. She is interested in what they refer to as baby fur.
So pseudo furries. I get it.
Basically, she is a trans furry diaper fetishist pedophile, and people found that out and weren't particularly happy. I
can't imagine why.
I guess, yeah, especially because it seems she's been using real children as reference.
Don't you miss the days when you just had pedophiles and that was it?
Back in the days, the early 20th century, all you had to do is find one and hang one, and now all we have to do is we have to deal with all this intersectional bollocks with it.
So yeah, this was this came out. So Kiwi Farms was one of the places where people went to talk about it because it's Kiwi Farms. That's what they do. And LaBelle's response to all of this was to basically throw a huge hissy fit, talking about how how she's been targeted by like a literal neo-Nazi forum. And I've noticed a lot of trans activists call Kiwi Farms just like a literal neo-Nazi forum, and they don't seem to understand. It's just there to laugh at them and nothing more.
It's like imagine the Star Wars cantina, but it's full of people with extreme autism. That's kind of Kiwi Farms.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can call. I don't know. This like the serious alt-right white supremacists of comics. It's just like, okay, so you're attacking the source of information rather than information. Not engaging with the fact that you're a pedophile, rather than the person who called me a pedophile is a Nazi. It's like, doesn't really counteract the point there that you are indeed a pedophile, but.
So her response about it was, I made some diaper fur art. I have a kink. I indulge responsibly, and I refuse to be shamed for it. The people shoving my art and my life into everyone's face are bad faith actors looking for an excuse to attack a trans woman.
if you were making this diaper fur art for yourself, etc., how did it end up on the internet? Why is it not in a, if you're actually making this quote unquote for yourself, why is this not in some kind of degenerate sketchbook in your own home that doesn't actually go anywhere? Why is this somehow spilled out onto the entirety of the internet, and there are dozens of images? I mean,
it was worse than that, because she was running like an alternate account, and like she had a Patreon for this art as well, I think. So she was trying to get paid to make, pedophile furry art.
Yeah, but she acknowledges it's a kink. She acknowledges that all of this is a kink, but it's like, just because it's a kink doesn't make it porn.
It also doesn't make it legal.
Because she tried to engage with the diaper part and not, the pedophile part.
Yeah. I mean, the diaper parts and the fairy parts are bad enough as they are. I do think that we need to bring back kink shaming. For things like being a diaper fag. I think that it's absolutely essential that we bring back kink shaming for it.
The bit that bothers me is, like, see, whenever anyone mentions like diaper, or I see a diaper, I just think to myself, there's shit in there. There's shit inside that, and which is why I don't understand how people can see it and go,
it's like
I don't get it.
It's just one step away from being a scat fetishist.
But it's not scat fetish because it's Schrodinger's shit. It might be in there, it might not.
It's still wrong. I mean, like, all this brings back fucking nightmares towards a gay communism book that I still need to finish because it's traumatized me that much. Where he talks about normalizing like shit eating and raping babies. And this is like hailed as a real revolutionary piece of like queer activism.
I remember Rainforest.
Rainforest
was basically a furry convention, and there was people there that were diaper furs, and like these were just people like walking around, and they had like their paws and ears and shit on, and they were just walking around in giant nappies. Now, they see if they were just walking around in a big diaper, then whatever, fine, but they were in fact like literally shitting and pissing themselves while they were walking around the convention, and the convention stunk of shit because of these fucking diaper furs everywhere. And then one of them, which this was kind of funny, literally took their shitty diaper off and just like hit it on the front windscreen of a car and like rubbed it all over it.
It was worse. It got worse. They literally stuffed diapers into. There was a pool at this hotel, and they filled the pool, basically filtration system, with their shitty diapers, and that caused the pool to be shut down. Funnily enough,
Oh no!
This is why we need to bring. This is why we need to bring back kink shaming. This is why we need to bring back kink shaming. Like I've always found
Puritan Rose coming.
Well, yeah, it is. Like I've always found kink shaming to be one of the strangest kinds of, this is really problematic. Like, you shouldn't be homophobic. You shouldn't be fat shaming. You can't kink shame someone either, especially when it comes to things like being a diaper baby. Because it's like, oh, I love wearing a diaper. I love soiling myself in a diaper, but don't laugh at me just because I get off over it. It's like they keep on adding. They add layer after layer after layer to make it funnier and funnier and funnier, and then just the last part, like, I might masturbate in my own shit in public, but don't you dare laugh at me for it. You dare mock me. So all of a sudden that behavior becomes acceptable. I'm doing it for sexual reasons. Oh, that's fine then. You're not doing it because you're a fucking weirdo. You're doing it because you get off over it. Oh, great. Like,
it's not just a disgusting act, but it's a disgusting act that you are turned on by.
Yeah,
it makes it triply disgusting.
It's a disgusting act. It turns you on, but don't mock me for it because that's oppressing me. It's like that final line is like the cherry on top. And it's like as though it could have, so all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm a victim now. So you can't
imagine they go and try and get a job, and it's like, are you that guy who eats and masturbates in their own shit? I'm sorry, you just can't be my accountant.
Are you the shit?
I saw this. If you kink shame, won't that be more dangerous because they have to hide it? Well, they should hide it. if you're going around shitting yourself and getting off over it, then hide it from public. Like there's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy of like different things that turn people on and different kinds of kinks. You can't openly compare, say, like someone who enjoys spanking with somebody who enjoys shit in their pants. Like that they are not the same thing. Like, am I being too puritanical about this?
No.
Am I being like? Is a society really degenerated so much that it is a bad thing to expect people keep these kinds of things to areas where it is acceptable? Like, London has like, I was in London. I had lots of friends who were involved in the kink community. All of them were normal people. Like, they were normal, well-grounded people. Yes, they enjoyed a few things, but that wasn't something that they went around advertising in public.
Yeah, well, they make the argument that, if we don't normalize it, like it's incredibly embarrassing to have to explain your big kink. It's oppressive. Society is oppressing me because I feel uncomfortable bringing up the fact that I like to masturbate in my own shit to my partner, who I've been with for like 3 years, who I feared to share this with, and it's like. Yeah, because they're probably not going to be into that.
Exactly.
This is the thing, is right. See if there's a couple and they like to dress in gimp suits and fill the room full of helium balloons and then cover themselves in Nutella and go at it, then whatever, they're doing that in their own room.
Yes.
But if they turn up like in the street or at work with a gimp suit and everything, then I am going to cyberbully. Right. like, I'm sorry.
I'm going to bully.
You cannot do something like that in front of me and expect me not to say something.
Yeah.
Don't kink shame. Shut up, bitch. I can fucking kink shame you all I want. You come in here with a fucking gimp suit on and I'm not allowed to say anything. Fuck you.
I don't understand why they call you a free speech extremist, mate.
That's the thing, is you absolutely have the freedom to do it, just as I have the freedom to cyberbully you.
Yeah, things like this need to be challenged more. Like when I've seen like pride events now being, they now have to be kink inclusive. Like, this is when you get pictures of people dressed up. That you get the men dressed up as like those dogs, like they call it like puppy play, and it's like leather puppy masks and stuff. And they're rubbing all over each other. They're acting in a really degenerate way around children. And we're supposed to be okay with that because, it's a part of pride. They're being free and they're celebrating who they are. But don't laugh at the people who are pretending that they're dogs and doing it to get off over it.
I'm gonna turn up to gay pride and say my kink is gay bashing. You're not allowed to.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Dan.
I think you'll find that kink shaming is my kink.
You know what'll happen, Killer. There'll be a lot of ooh woo hit me daddy.
Yeah, I also think it's one of the. I also think it's one of those things which has kind of been set up to kind of like make every single kink seem like they are exactly the same. Like I mentioned before, like if you have something like spanking or tying up or whatever, like that's things that your average person has heard of. Like not many people will be into it. Not many people will be into it at all, but like people at least kind of have an understanding about it. And then you're going to turn up and say, well, but you've got to that is exactly the same as like shitting yourself and living your life as a baby.
It's also about like bringing the private and the sexual into the public domain, and it's just like I don't care if you get off to the dad from Powerpuff Girls, but I just don't want to know.
Sugar. I think it's just mostly there's ones that I can't comprehend. Like, say for example, if there's a couple that like to tie each other up, right? Okay, I understand there is a sub and dom power play type thing there. The same can sort of go for spanking. I get it. One person likes feeling vulnerable, the other person likes feeling powerful, and it's like, right, okay, I understand that. I get it. Right, that's fine. But then you get people that, and this is a real thing, by the way. There are guys that will hire prostitutes, right? But not have the prostitute touch them in any way. They will instead sit in a chair, like just wanking away, while the prostitute blows up a really big balloon and then ties a knot in it, and then the prostitute will then sit on the balloon really, really slowly until it pops. That's like apparently a common fetish, right? So that's why
I am in the wrong line of work.
Yeah, so I look at that and go, I don't understand how that's sexy.
Yeah,
I can't wrap my head around it. I don't get it. I'm sorry.
yeah, like that. But that's one which is just really, really bemusing. It's not sick and disgusting in the same way that shitting yourself is.
Yeah,
it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's not unhygienic.
Yeah,
it's weird. No one's getting hurt from this. You're not conducting bacteriological warfare.
Actually, Mark, I'll have you know that there is a helium shortage.
How will we power the blimps now?
Yeah. MRI machines need that for cooling.
I have two quite spicy takes about this. In the Sophie the Bell, the person behind the assigned male thing, is like it's very obvious within her comics that she is like mentally ill and has a fetish for all different kinds of things that are not being treated. And this is what happens when you convince people untreated mental illness just needs to be accepted. I don't know. I don't want to go the whole organophilia route and shit like that, but it's just like it's very, very clear that she has a lot more going on than just I'm trans, and that maybe you don't need to accept all these extremely strange people because a lot of them are as weird as you think they are, and they turn out to be fucking pedophiles.
I don't know. I didn't like how she just instantly used this isn't because of the shit thing I did. It's because I'm trans. I fucking hate it when people do that. I hate it. Oh, you're only bullying me because I'm black, and it's like no, I'm bullying you because you just beat a man up in the street for no reason. Like
it's like no, Diane, I'm doing it because you can't count.
That's all, there were lots of people jumping to her defense, saying, "Yeah, like." If she wasn't trans, no one would be talking about it, as though assigned male isn't actually a thing on the internet. I mean, the only people I know who actually seem to like assigned male just share comics of it on Facebook just to try and look like that. You know, that they're good little allies.
It seems a lot of people are slowly backing away from the whole trans kids thing. I know a lot of activists have become very silent about mermaids. A lot of corporations that support them have been very silent about mermaids because they started figuring out how horrific they are.
Yeah, like it's more. This is why another reason why I find assigned male so damn disturbing. Because of this weird fixation on children and children talking about genitals and putting it in a comic, which is written by someone who has a kink for, like, it isn't just wearing a diaper. That she uses the thing called like little, which I think is the kind of like the adult baby.
Yeah, it's
like there's their description of like, oh, I like to act like a little child.
It's the ABDL equivalent of calling yourself a map.
Yeah, it's like I did the video on Stefankny. For those of you who remember that Pillars of the Community episode, like Stefankny would be considered a little. So effectively, like the creator of Assigned Male, someone who draws all these comics of little children talking about like, you know, adult conversations on like sex and like sex reassignment. Also has a quite public kink now of acting like a little child for sexual reasons. But it's not porn. It's not porn. So she, you know, she'll find a baby on the internet, draw some diaper fur kink stuff on it, but it's not porn. But you know, like she's trans, guys. So don't ever try and call her out on it, because the only reason why anyone's talking about this, you know, if you had a grown man, who basically took people's pictures of babies and drew porn furry versions of it, that no one would ever bat an eyelid to that.
I don't care whether or not it's explicit or not. Just the fact that I know they're saying it's a kink, which infers a sexual component to it, and I'm like, you're drawing kids as whatever, an anthropomorphic creature and so on. I'm like, that's wrong. That's just
that's exactly it.
Immoral.
It's really something that's wrong with that whole idea that if you have a kink, you need to be out and proud with it. I don't know. It's not a very YouTube friendly take, but I've said before that maybe the fags were better off in the closet. It was safer in there, and a lot of people couldn't get disgusted by a lot of the other things that were the content of there. Like, not everything that is the content of your mind is like a pure and precious snowflake. That's the big thing. They think that everything that is them like deserves acceptance. And I'm like, some people are just fucking gross. That's the reality. Some people are gross diaper wearing pedophiles, and you know they don't deserve to be accepted. A lot of people aren't good people, and I hate that kind of like semi-naivete about. Well, you need to be, you need to accept everyone. You need to be. I know you fucking don't. It's really is. We're kind of reaching the end point of the slippery slope argument, where it's like, well, if you accept X, then Y is soon to follow. And everyone was like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. That seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
I want gays to be like Ron Swanson. Gays need to be like Ron Swanson, but it's like, are you gay? None of your fucking business. That's the way it should be. Who the fuck asked you? Fuck off.
It just ruins everything. It's like, no, it's very clear that a lot of these people can't be trusted with their own kind of, when it comes to publicizing themselves and, self-control and any of that. You're right. We need to get into a mindset of bullying people like that again. It's only if someone, you're right, if someone turns up in a fucking gimp suit or in a diaper, the correct response is, what the fuck is wrong with you? You don't just try to give them a little golf clap and tell them they're very brave.
Yeah. It is something which I've always just found disturbing. Like, just, like there's nothing wrong with like doing what you want in your own kind of privacy, but as soon as you start advertising it to the world,
have some fucking decorum, people.
I'm gonna come outside in the streets with a big butterfly net, my estrogen detector. I'm just gonna run around the streets, kidnapping trans people. You can't shame me. You can't stop me. This is my kink. Do not shame me. I am legally allowed to do this.
Daddy, what did you do in the kink shaming wars?
Daddy, why is our furniture made of trans women?
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Would you sit on me? I'd sit on me.
Yeah, again, Dank. I wouldn't go that route. You'll wake up tomorrow.
They're still alive. I feed them. I'm not the devil.
I'm going to say, yeah, you're going to wake up tomorrow with an inbox full of like 100 applications to be a footstool. I know how this goes.
Oh yeah, did you see? I don't know if you've seen that. I applied. I made a video advertising for a video editor, and I made the mistake of giving my business email out in the video, and like a third of the applications are like actual serious applications with portfolios and stuff. The other third are just memes and people taking the piss. The final third are just horny.
God.
Just horny. I posted a couple of them on Twitter. They really are something.
You could start an entire third channel with that,
Yeah.
So does anyone have anything else that they want to say about diaper babies?
I don't think there's anything anybody else needs to say or wants to say.
Yes, I do believe I never want to discuss diaper babies ever again in the entirety of my existence on this planet. So when we get to Mars via Elon Musk, then we might talk about it, but that's about it.
I don't know. My only comment is this is what happens when you don't beat your kids or beat them too much, either or.
Oh my God.
Just the right amount of beating.
Yeah.
An open palm.
We're talking about fucking Islam. At least shit about like the regulations about beating your wife in Islam. Like like you can hit her, but don't you make her ugly.
I thought this was going to be a wholesome seal-based stream, and I come on here now, and here I am,
like
discussing diaper fetishes.
Okay, I think we need...
Hey, I've been very restrained. I haven't said the N-word once.
Good.
You knew that makes you a better person, Scrump, for not having said that.
I think we need a bit of mind bleach. So look, he's Cammy, who's now
Bring on the cat. Bring on the cat.
Bring on the cat. Yeah.
Fucking thoughts showing their pussy on webcam.
Yeah, show pussy.
Go back to fucking OnlyFans, Rose. Fuck's sake.
Chat. What do you think? Should Rose show more pussy? Oh,
God. Oh, poor Cammy. Let me just. She's kind of settling down a little bit now.
Yeah, it's like weird seal, but okay.
Look at her. After this, like thoroughly, like morally repugnant conversation, just remember there's a little cat here.
Look at it.
Look at the kitten.
It makes me almost ashamed to have a cat allergy and to be poor.
Yeah, I'm allergic as fuck as well.
Yeah.
Aww. She is good. She's actually been quite well behaved. I was a bit worried that she might be getting up to all sorts of shenanigans because she's been pretty manic all day. But you are actually being a very well behaved little cat. And so she's going to be joining a lot more of the streams. There'll be Cammy updates galore. So with that, so we move on to the last story of the week, which is one that I really wanted to talk about, and I think that this is one which a lot of people have probably seen over the last couple of days, which concerns Twitch and the now all of a sudden hugely controversial phrase that the woke activists have decided is so bad. Womaxing.
No, to be fair, they did.
Yeah.
They did turn on the Poggers guy though. They replaced the Poggers guy emote because the Poggers guy was like pro boog. He was talking about like overthrowing the government and shit. He was kind of based.
I remember when Womaxing was first floated, and it's like, we were all laughing because, of course, it was a natural continuation of the woman thing, where it's MYN as opposed to MAN. So and then people just going, obviously you had like the second wave feminists who were like, we already have women, so why do we need this extra thing? And they were like, well, you need to be more inclusive of trans people, and therefore Womaxing is clearly there. And it's just like, and suddenly they get a backlash from notably trans people, I've noticed, who and their supporters, who are going, you spend years trying to pass as a woman and to go through all the steps that are required in society and match the culture and act in a feminine way, and Twitch has still managed to find a way to differentiate you from cis women.
I just think I posted a tweet out about this that went semi-viral, right? And I also got a special DM, so remind me to go into that after this, right? But just imagine, like, being young, being a kid throughout your whole life, you start to struggle with your identity a little bit. You're like, am I a man? Am I a woman? And everything. And then slowly but surely you transfer over and you're transitioning and you're doing all these things and changing your hair and changing everything about you and everything like that so that you can fully transition into a woman. And you're like, yes, that is me. I am now a woman. And then Twitch goes, actually, fuck your struggles. Man, and I posted the tweet out about that, basically saying, like, imagine struggling your whole life to become a woman and then just basically not be considered trans, be considered a woman, and then they changed the term to fucking Womaxing to remind you that you're still trans. Now, see that tweet that I posted out? Now, see the trans woman that was actually in the picture that I tweeted out? I didn't choose her or anything, just the video was playing, and basically that's the frame it was on when I hit print screen, right?
Yeah.
So, but she messaged me on Twitter, and God bless her, right? Because the way she's talking to me, I can tell that she doesn't know who I am and thinks I'm a progressive.
Oh,
right?
No, that's the worst. That's the worst mistake you could possibly make with God
bless her, honestly. Like, God, because she was being so nice. She was being really nice, and everyone, she was like, hi, I'm the person in the tweet you put out. Hi, hello, and everyone, like, all cute and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I've been getting a little bit of shit all day because of your tweet and everything. I just want to say, she explained a bunch of stuff and says, I don't think that Twitch were being transphobic. I know that a lot of people are up in arms about it, and I'm getting a little bit of shit for it. And she wrote, anyway, just wanted to share my feelings on this is all, and a little love heart. And I'm like, she's been so nice, she's been so sweet. And that's why I did feel bad. And I'm just like, I did say,
she's gonna be like, wait, who's this count? Oh, guess the what?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm the Nazi pug guy.
Yeah, I replied to her being really nice, and I wrote, I do apologize for that. You know, this wasn't a slight against you. I was going after Twitch and stuff, and I was like, I wasn't having a go at you. You know, man, like, so for the shit you got, genuinely, I'm very sorry about that. You didn't do anything to deserve that. And then I went, However, I can tell that you don't actually know who I am, which is why you're being so nice to me. And all that. And I went, I'm not a progressive or anything like that. I just think the term we're mixing is fucking retarded, and I wanted to laugh at it. Right? And no, I didn't get a reply. No.
You realize that you just Seth Rogen'd her. I can tell you don't know who I am. Or
no, I was saying like you're being really nice to me, so I know you don't know who I am. Like that I said it in that way.
I thought Seth Rogening was when you asked someone if they're a Jew.
Yes, that's Seth Rogening. Yeah, he did it to more people after me, by the way.
he did it to a lot of people, apparently.
I think maybe it's because he's blind from all the years of marijuana use. He just can't tell who's who anymore.
I could just say, like, that's Seth Rogen thing. I've still got DMs open with him, and like, I don't know what I'll send him. Oh, man,
you know what you'll send him.
That's the thing, is it?
It
turns out if you send someone porn in DMs, it's reportable on Twitter. And if Seth Rogen reports me, like, you know, I'm gone.
Oh, wait a second. I've just got to report my good friend Count Dankula. He's always sending me porn.
Yes. Oh shit! No, Mark, I'm sorry. Like...
the ball bags will continue until morale improves.
To be fair, you and I and our message history, I'm just as indictable as you are, so I wouldn't even try it.
What's interesting with the term womuxins, a lot of people are focusing on how it's supposed to be, you know, more inclusive for trans women, but a lot of people also forget that one of the reasons why they wanted to use womuxin is because it's apparently more inclusive for women of color.
How?
So,
how that doesn't make sense.
I know, but it's supposed to be all inclusive. There was a thing about it last year. I've been trying to find a story, but it's been kind of buried under the whole Twitter, the whole Twitch arguments. But I specifically remember this from last year because I believe somebody even mentioned it on Newsnight, how womuxin is more inclusive for women of color, as though like they're saying it's one thing that they just say, like, you know, trans women, you want real women. So, you know, we've made this new term to include you. But
also black women.
Also black women. You're not real. You know, we can't just put you onto women. So, you know, here's an expression just to include you as well. You know, just so you don't feel left out. And like black women will just be sitting there like, are we not women?
I think this is pushing off the thing from a few years ago. They're still trying to push Latinx, aren't they? So I think it's all on the back of that.
Latinx.
Like you were mentioning the Powerpuff Girls earlier. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. And then he burst open a container of Latinx.
Oh dear.
The Power Pedro girls.
Oh my god.
They'll build you a fence. They're trying to fight Mojo Jojo to steal his visa.
Oh dear.
No.
Yes, El Bobo.
For legal reasons, this is entirely a joke.
Yes.
I don't know. What's funny, I think, about the whole womanx thing is that 5 years ago, this was kind of a thing they were trying to push a bit more. And that it really is the snake eating its own tail. And that they are so confused by their own language. It's like it hurt itself in confusion. They're so confused by their own language games, they're starting to lash out at kind of like shadows. Because I've never seen or heard of it being quote-unquote transphobic before. It reminds me of the whole Amy Comey Barrett redefinition of words thing that happened.
Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of highlight this. So it's from our good friends Pink News, who I was getting into an argument with before because they are just a trash publication.
Their editor challenged me to a fight.
Oh yeah, it was your mate. It was your mate that I was chatting to actually.
Really?
Yeah. We regularly have back and forths between each other. Let me just bring it up. Yeah, Ryan John Butcher. Just as a bit of an off tangent thing. Book Angel accused one of the Pink News's writers of being ageist, and the absolute soy guzzler came back to him and was like, "Oh, you're trying to start a pile-on. You're encouraging thousands of people to attack my trans colleague." And the evidence for Book Angel trying to attack, encouraging an internet mob is just him saying, "Oh, this person is an ageist and transphobic." And so I pointed that out to him. I just said to him, "I get that critical thinking is beyond your embarrassment of a publication, but if you see Book claiming someone is transphobic as mob encouragement, then wouldn't
he be out of a job if he couldn't call anyone transphobic again?"
Yeah, it's like, I suppose, in quote treating a trans man and calling him a transphobic asshole, Buck was hoping his followers would just leave him alone, huh? And there was definitely nothing sinister behind tagging his employer. So I just said to him, criticizing someone publicly means they must be encouraging hate mobs. Your website labels people as homophobic and transphobic all the time. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And he never came back to me because he's a soy cock.
I accepted his challenge to fight and he blocked me.
What was interesting, when you were having that
I guess that was your win, by default.
Yeah, but I said charity boxing match, and I was like, for real, I'll do it. And then he blocked.
I thought that would have been kind of cool.
What's funny?
Because then I would get to bash the gays, but legally.
I know you've obviously had the cover up done, but I'd just like to see the look on his face if you took your shirt off and just had the commie star there.
If it ever happens, I will dress like Zangief from Street Fighter.
Yeah, you're going to be Count turning Pink News into Pink Miss Dankula.
What I found funny with all of that is when he was having a back and forth with you, he actually blocked me. But then as soon as I kind of became relevant again, he unblocked me just to start taking pot shots. And that was when he told me that Pink News is completely non-partisan, except for the fact that they are staunchly anti-Trump. Therefore, not understanding what the term non-partisan means. So anyway, I wanted to highlight this article from them from the other day. Twitch apologizes for using the word womuksen. We're still learning. So what they've said here, the word womuksen has come into more frequent use over the last decade, according to dictionary.com, and is one of several alternative spellings of the word women. However, the word has been used extensively by transphobes on social media in an effort to delegitimize trans women's identities. So they're reframing it. They're reframing it.
But it's not to delegitimize them; it's to mock them. So it's funny.
So they tried to redefine what it is, but what they haven't paid attention to is their own publication. So, for example, according to Pink News, it's a term which is used by transphobes. Transphobes including their own writers. Here is transphobe Vic Parsons, according to Pink News, using a transphobic slur in his one of his articles. It's not like they would then use it again. Like in this story saying nightclub created by and for queer womuksen opening in London. It would be completely beneath.
Where's that from? Is that from? Was that 2019? It says there.
Yes, 2019.
So this is less than 2 years ago.
Yes.
Pink News low-key transphobic, clearly. Yeah.
Yes. So Pink News pointing out that this is a really problematic phrase. This is Amy Coney Barrett all over again. And I've seen a lot of people trying to push that womuksen is a term used by TERFs when the gender critical side has always been against it because they just want to be called women. They're all about the word woman. Why would they start using the term womuksen? It makes no sense. And yes,
you've ostracized us and called us a different category for years. Therefore, we're going to ostracize ourselves from the thing we've been trying to claim for years and create a new category which we own. Yeah, because that's the way it works.
The whole thing about womuksen is that it's a really cringe, feminist thing of being like, we don't want the word man and woman. it's so juvenile and
it completely, because the whole thing is about the etymology, and it's like, dude, even the word man is derivative of human rather than just man. And in the same way that when they try and push her story as opposed to history, because it's got his in it, and it's like Greek. Do you speak it? It's like you don't understand.
It's like that. What is it? That the person who said "amen" and "a woman." It's just
my God! Amen is that the Hebrew for "I agree." Yeah, of course. It's just like
it's that really cringe, like 70s feminism shit that is really kind of. I don't know. It's really kind of part of the progressive stack eating itself, because mainstream and slightly cringe feminists are now on the chopping block. Because at first it was like white gay men who were the oppressors, and now it's like white middle class feminists who they hate as the liberals, quote unquote. They're just liberals. They're just the libs. They're not true socialists. It's that whole stack.
What was that fucking article I saw a fucking while back or something that said black men, the new white men?
Yes, it is.
What? Man, like, honestly.
The stack has gone gay white men, black men, and now it's feminists, like mainstream feminists, like white feminism they call it.
Is that the old schoolers for like the 70s and 80s, the ones that have a lot of TERFs? Is it those ones?
Yeah.
Right.
Basically. So that's where they're up to now. And I think straight black women might be next. I'm not sure though.
I can't wait until the day when we're all oppressors, and then the world will truly be united.
I'm gonna say it's the supposed group of internet racists I talked to is an exceptionally diverse bunch. They seem to be a lot more diverse than the anti-racists are. But anyway,
yeah. Do you feel that all of this stuff is actually starting to die down since Biden got in?
I feel like the mood has changed somewhat.
Yeah, I felt it.
Like I'm getting that feeling that like the a lot of this was kind of easy to whip people up over because Drumpf, like Orange Man bads, we're the revolutionaries against the evil orange dictator. So, join us, by the way, all these other progressive things, which a lot of people disagree with. But, hey, our target is Drumpf. But now Drumpf gone. And people
it's like, what do I do now?
Yeah, and it's like people just don't really care anymore. I mean, Biden has already proven himself to be a huge disappointment. Like how many, I don't know how, I've lost count of how many kind of things he's gone back on.
I'm enjoying the account of Biden voters posting their L's. It's very funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot of buyer's remorse.
It's like that's the thing that's making it funny is with them going, "Where's my $2,000 check?" And it's like you only voted for a politician because he'd give you money.
It's like an
then he doesn't give you.
Remember the whole Yang Gang thing? It's like an amplified version of that. It's just like I'm gonna sell, politically my soul for $2,000. It's like, yeah, well done. Congratulations, you played yourself. I think a lot of the American mainstream left is quietly going back into an embarrassed silence because of, Joe Biden's prompt drone striking of more people. He's decided that it's time to bomb Syria.
I've seen them all starting to get weaponized against Biden, like Antifa and like all the leftists and all that are starting to like really go against Joe Biden. And that's the thing. The thing that's hilarious, right, is see if they try and start pulling all the same shit that they pulled under fucking Donald Trump. Like, just watch. It won't be the odd tear gas canister. They'll fucking roll over them with tanks like fucking Stalingrad.
They have quietly established an Iraq-style green zone in the capital. Those National Guards still haven't gone home. They're still sleeping in parking structures. It's essentially a military buffer zone they've had to establish for the most popular president in American history, supposedly.
Yeah. God. Like,
the Biden supporters don't realize the barricade is for them, not for insurrectionists.
Yeah, I'm gonna say imagine being a president so popular you have to just like constantly deploy the army to stop your population from killing you.
It's like reverse Attack on Titan.
Oh, imagine. Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine calling Joe Biden a Titan. Like,
the sniffing Titan.
oh no! This week's episodic villain, the sniffing Titan in chief.
Oh God!
You just see him picking people up off the ground and just sniffing them while you just hear
and you see like he sniffs their entire, their outer skin off, and then they're gone,
Just some guy with a Trump hat. LDL will rise again.
Oh Christ! So does anyone else have anything that they'd like to add about Womixen?
It's stupid. It makes you sound stupid if you say it. That's kind of it.
Yeah. Like I think it's like it's one of the stupidest parts of the whole intersectional movement, and that as a way of being inclusive, they try and kind of exclude lots of people from being women and instead make them Womixen. And the fact that so many people ignore that one of the reasons why this phrase gained popularity was to include Black women, and not wonder why there's so much of a problem of racism in progressive movements. Honestly, progressives claim to be the real anti-racist, but I think there's a much bigger problem of racism in progressive movements than there are in conservative or right-wing movements.
Well, why do you think they think everyone's racist? Because everyone they associate with is a racist.
Yeah.
It's one of the things as well where it's just this hyper focus on race and sexuality and all this stuff. See, for example, I've got a project I'm doing right now and I'm hiring people, right? See,
Hire me.
You need to live local. Sorry, man. I'm renting a premises, but basically, I'm seeing the CV sort of thing that I'm asking for. I'm not asking for gender or sexual orientation or race or anything like that because it doesn't fucking matter.
Are you making your own version of the Tide Pod Eaters then?
No, everyone. I'm not making a fucking podcast. Why does everybody think that? It's not podcast of the Haggis Eaters. It's the same channel. It's the same content. I just need more staff so I can do more content. That's all it is. Instead of 3 videos a month, I want it to be 6. Right? I'm not. Everyone's don't start a podcast. Everyone's starting a podcast. I'm not starting a podcast. I never at any point said I was.
Instead of reducing 3 videos a month, you just want sex. I mean, that's a very strange way of putting things. Thank you.
Listen here, you little shit.
Were you in the Marines?
Well, you're about to get the.
We really need
to copy paste.
Yeah.
We really need to have a seal of approval Tide Pod edition.
Now I know what fake accent.
Sargon and Calamon. We've been trying to get Sargon on for ages.
He's a busy bloke, but yeah, he'll come along.
Oh, that's a good point.
He's a busy.
He's a busy boy. The good point in the super chat there about the multiracial whiteness. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Oh, for God's sake!
Multiracial
whiteness is a state of mind.
Yes, because whiteness is too diverse, and therefore they need to be able to call people an Uncle Tom, but using the phrase white.
I'm going to say it's kind of an appropriation of a joke I've heard before, or a comment I've heard before about another thing being a state of mind. But what I'm not allowed to say is a state of mind is a take I've seen before, specifically from the. It's actually kind of what Sargon said when he talked about the alt-right acting like a bunch of. Anyway.
Oh Christ! Don't say it. Don't.
It's relevant to the point.
I value my channel.
I was reading some rap lyrics. But it is. You're right. It's the whole whiteness is the state of mind. You don't actually need to be white to be white.
But all white people are white as well somehow.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
I think that we need
culturally white.
I think we need some good news now, guys. I think we need a bit of mind bleach, which isn't going to be Cammy because she's having a nap on the floor. And the show is called Seal of Approval. So I think a lot of you have been wondering, where are the seals?
Did Sue genocide the seals? Marcus?
No.
Yeah, was the
great seal clubber herself out last night?
No. Sue, no.
That's where all the Race Shadow Legend money is going. It's actually just protection money for the seals.
Yeah.
They're just like, Sue, stop, please.
Please, Sue, don't get the bat.
No. And Sue's just clubbing left. She's clubbing right. She's clubbing in. She just can't stop.
Her pregnancy's making her mad.
Well, thankfully,
she just has an uncontrollable urge for seal blubber.
Well, thankfully, some of the seals have been able to find a good hiding spot away from Sue. This is the seal of the week. Secret breeding site of world's rarest seal discovered.
Oh God, this is another kink, isn't it?
So this is the Mediterranean monk seal. This is a baby one. Now, monk seals are quite a rare species of seal because they live in more warm waters than a lot of seals tend to be. Like, you know, most seals are found in like the Arctic, and you get more in the Antarctic, and then around here you get grey and harbor seals. But when it comes to more warmer climates, you would get monk seals, but a lot of them have been hunted to extinction, like the California monk seal. But there is a Mediterranean monk seal, which is incredibly rare, and some of their secret breeding ground has been discovered. So there's about 700 individual Mediterranean monk seals in the wild. And due to their secretive habits, identifying their breeding sites has been difficult, but they've done research in using cameras in remote sea caves, and they've been able to find a lot more information on them, which will help with conservation. And hopefully we can see the numbers of these brilliant creatures increase. Monk seals can be great. The Hawaiian monk seal, for example, has a habit of getting eels lodged up its nose, and scientists don't understand why. But it seems to happen with a bizarre regularity. And so there's just lots of...
Don't kink shame them.
Eels in the nose of seals. It's not like I mean seals are innocent animals, Mark. They don't have. They're wholesome. They're wholesome, family friendly, plump pin.
Maybe it's like a symbiotic thing. It's like birds and elephants' backs kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe they're eating their boogers. The infamous booger eel.
So I didn't make a straw poll again this week, so what I'll need people to do in the chat is vote for who you think deserves the seal of approval for this week. And whilst you're all voting, I'll go over some more super chats.
That's the gimmick of the show. I keep forgetting.
The Teabag with the £2, Cuckle Vision. I think that's about Owen Jones.
Yes.
The Gay Rascal with $5.49. 40 years later, and I'm so tired of the phrase "out and proud." Yeah, no, I can sympathize with that. And then we have a triple from Jedi Knight Anna Quinn Cringewalker. Thank you so much. So it's first one for $5. Scrump got it. Progressives are a consuming force. You can't defeat it by giving it more to eat. Step aside, do not engage, and it will eat itself. Yep. No, I think that's a perfect summary of it. Then there is the one which we read out before about multiracial whiteness, and his last super chat for another $5. Yes, officer, I am a multiracial white supremacist. My African American friend here is as white as I am in my state of mind. Prove me wrong, bigot. Indeed.
No.
And so I'm just having a look through. Let's see who gets it. So it looks like there's a lot. In fact, it looks like it might be quite tight.
It looks like it's Cammy.
Yeah, so it looks like it's between Dank and a kitten. So
I mean, the two are very similar.
So you know what, Dank? I'm going to let you decide who gets the seal of approval. Do you want to get it, or do you want to let the sweet little innocent kitten get the award?
The answer to
cat take the seal.
This question will define you for the rest of your career, just a bit so you're aware.
Fuck that kitten. I'm kidding on. Give it to the kitten. It's fine. It's fine. This doesn't mean that I'm nice. Just want to make that clear, right? Doesn't mean I'm nice.
I just imagine that when your daughter is a little bit older and you have to take her somewhere as the taxi of dad, and you go, this doesn't mean I'm nice. Like she's going out somewhere.
As I throw her out the car while it's still moving.
So Cammy won.
In the spirit of Dankula, what terrible thing are you gonna train Cammy to respond to?
Oh God! Like, the thing is, because she's a Maine Coon, it is possible to train her. Although, maybe not as much as a dog. But
I'm gonna make her respond to Gas the Troons.
Oh God! To be confirmed. To be confirmed. Cammy's very tired, so she's going to say good night to everyone. And look at her.
Oh, she's very sleepy.
No,
that'll be £800.
Yeah.
Oh God. So let me just give her a bit of privacy. So with that, it's a bit of a shorter episode this week, I know, but with so much in the news being COVID and fucking President Biden, I'm bored of talking about both of those things. So hopefully there'll be more going on next week. But just before we end this, do you guys have anything you want to show?
Yeah.
Yes, I will do my usual shill of promoting Minds, because I like Minds.com. It's actually the only good social media alternative in my kind of mind, since they won't let me back on Twitter, since they seem to manually search for me. I think there's some poor mod on Twitter or admin on Twitter whose job it is, I think, to keep me off Twitter. So that's gonna sunk that one. But no, yeah, Minds.com/ScriptMonkey. I post on there a lot of the time. Been a little busy lately, but I'll be ramping my memes back up, so look forward to those. Also, my tooth thing is pretty much fixed now, so there will be an episode of Starman and the Boomer tomorrow.
Awesome.
I'm well again. I'm not in horrible pain, so that's good. So yes, we'll be doing a Starman and the Boomer on the whole Texas power outage thing and a few other things that haven't been covered prop in the news lately, like France, like everything that's going on in France that people still aren't allowed to report on. So it should be interesting.
So Dank.
Oh yeah, I've got a child coming in 2 weeks, so I'm not doing shit.
Raid Shadow Baby.
Raid Shadow Baby. Yeah, literally, that's the reason this child is here. I paid for the IVF with my Raid Shadow Legends money.
Yes, and that's the most wholesome thing that money has ever been used for, to be fair. And
genuinely, usually it's drugs.
Yeah, or hair dye, God forbid, for all those streamers with horrific blonde highlights. I'm sure I echo the sentiments of the entire panel when I say, best of luck with all of that, and please give our regards to Sue as well. I'm sure it's a bit stressful for her at the moment as well. So
yeah, she waddles everywhere like a penguin.
Yeah, just waiting, But I also have my own chill. I am running a stream tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. called with Aidan Paladin on the rise and fall of science. Not sure how long it's going to go for, but it should be an interesting one. So if you like psychology and are interested in the characteristics of genius and that sort of thing, then please join us there on my channel.
Awesome. Okay, so with that, we're gonna end the show here. Seal of Approval will be back next Wednesday, but until then, thanks to my wonderful guests, Not So Obvious and Count Sturgula. Thanks for coming on, guys.
No problem.
No worries.
And of course, thanks to my trusty Scrump.
Yes, it is me. I am Scrump. Scrump is who I am.
So with that, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.